Well, howdy folks, welcome back to another video. Right now, we're currently back up in Mount Hood, and it's been quite a while since we've last been up here, and it always feels good to come back. Mount Hood is kind of like my home mountain at this point, and as many times as I've been up here, there's always still an excitement that I get every time we return. We're actually headed to a lake that I went camping at not too long ago, sometime back in the summer. Some of you guys might recognize the spot. Kind of going out for just a quick trip this week, because I spent the better half of this week prepping the cabin for winter. Winter is coming, and this all wooden cabin, of course, needs a fair bit of maintenance here in the Pacific Northwest, given the amount of rainfall and snow that we get. So I spent the week pretty busy getting the cabin resealed. Dicey of a road we have found ourselves on. Well, can't really call it much of a road, more like a little trail. And I'm hoping that we're able to make it out to the other side of this, because it looks like it narrows quite a bit up there. But we're already committed at this point. You guys see that hill over there? Probably doesn't look like it in the footage, but that is extremely steep. Way too steep of an angle for me to take the cabin. If I try it, I guarantee I'll knock my porch on the ground and probably get stuck. So we just had to turn it around, and we're gonna backtrack a little bit to get back onto the main highway. Or the main road, I should say, not highway. All right, folks, we've made it back onto the main Forest Service road. Crisis was averted. We should be pulling up to camp in the next 10-15 minutes or so. Thank goodness this gate is open. You really just never know around here. We're definitely getting to that time of year where they'll start to close a lot of those Forest Service Road gates. And unfortunately, there's not like a super reliable way to check on every specific gate closure, because there's so many of them. There's so many forest roads. So a lot of the time you'll be out here exploring, and you're like an hour into a drive to get to a spot. And then like within the last 2 miles, you'll hit a closed gate and you won't be able to get to the spot that you're trying for, which is a total bummer. It's happened to me multiple times, but that's just the nature of the game when you're out here exploring in the woods, you know? Wow, that's crazy. The last time that I was up here camping, this whole area over here was part of the lake. We were posted up, parked right there, and all of that was lake. I guess this late in the season, it really dries up. Look how far back the lake receded from typically being way over here. That's pretty crazy. All right, y'all, this is camp for the night. And let me tell you, it's chilly already. It's gonna be a cold, cold night, that's for sure. Now, the only thing that I'm a little bit apprehensive about is where we're parked is kind of on the road here. And although we've only passed one other group of people or one other vehicle, and I highly doubt there's gonna be too much traffic driving on this road, I am a little bit worried that tomorrow people are gonna come in the morning and drive by, and I don't know. I'm gonna go scope out another spot that I was thinking about taking, but I wanted to see what was a little bit further up the road. There were other spots, as you could see down along the lake shore. I could also park down there, but I don't know. It's kind of windy and feels a little bit exposed out there. Just seems like a good night for camping in the trees, you know? So that's what I'm gonna go check out right over here. This looks like a spot that could work also. This is a really nice spot. I don't exactly think I could get the truck and the cabin up here though, unfortunately. Now, as you can see, the water level usually goes all the way up to there. And so this whole section of lakeshore is basically just mucky mud. Wherever I step, I start to sink in almost immediately. And I was planning to do some fishing, but you probably can't exactly tell. The water is super, super shallow, like not even knee deep, pretty much as far out as I could see. And that means I think you gotta get way out to the center of the lake if you wanna do any fishing. That's kind of a bummer because I was planning on doing some fishing, and in fact, I was actually gonna do a little bit of a catch and cook today, because the last time I was here and I fished, I caught a pretty good, decent sized rainbow trout. And I didn't cook it up that time because I wasn't really prepared to do so. And today I came here thinking, all right, today I'll go camp on that lake, do a little fishing, probably do a catch and cook. But fortunately, I did bring other stuff to eat as well, just in case. Guys, the forest smells so incredible over here. It seriously smells like a candle that you would get at Target or something. It's wonderful. It's kind of crazy that such a delicious smell can be produced just by the forest, by trees. Like, where does the smell come from? You know, is it the trees that emit the odor, or like, is it ferns? Like, what produces the smell? It's so interesting. Whatever it is, it's delightful, that's for sure. What an incredible evening. The sun is out, the sky is blue. Well, over there at least. Over there, still a little cloudy and gray. But all day today, it's been cloudy and drizzly and raining on and off, and I thought for sure we were in for a cloudy, rainy night of camping. But here we are, soaking in the beautiful golden sun rays, and it really just couldn't be much prettier than this. You know, I really just couldn't get over the fact that we were kind of parked off to the side on a road. And so I decided to move, and this spot right here was 30 seconds up on the hillside right behind where we were parked. And as you could tell, this is a magnificent spot. It feels a lot better to be tucked away in the trees as opposed to just parked kind of in the middle of the road. And sure enough, 10 minutes after we moved, a car came and drove by, the first car that I've seen all night. So a little bit of a tight squeeze to get in here. On this side, I am dang near clipping that tree there. And there's not a whole lot more clearance on this side. So it was kind of meant to be that the cabin fit perfectly in between those trees. Also, can you guys tell that the cabin was just refinished? I think it looks a lot better. It looks clean, looks a little bit darker, kind of like I stained it, but the finish that I used isn't a stain. I think it's just still, takes a little while to fully dry, so that's why it might look a little bit darker. A lot of you guys probably can't even tell, but to me, I could tell a big difference. And most importantly, the wood is now waterproof. Break. I love fall fires so much. There's no better season for a campfire than fall, in my opinion. This has got to be one of my favorite spots that I've stayed at for a while. Probably gonna get a pretty late night dinner in tonight, given that it's already dark and we're pretty deep into the fire. I've got a small little stack of wood that I plan on burning through, and I'm not exactly too hungry just yet, so a late dinner might be in the cards for me, but that's all right. Rather sit out here and enjoy the fire while I have it, you know? pretty soon won't be able to do this. It's a little chilly out tonight. It's a little chilly. Good stick. Good job. You found a good one. A little bit chilly in here right now. Let's go ahead and fire on the heater. For dinner tonight, I wanted to utilize the fresh chanterelle mushrooms that we went out and foraged in last week's video. If you haven't already seen that video, feel free to go check that one out. But that being said, the recipe that I came up with is a classic beef stroganoff. Now, of course, traditionally, beef stroganoff doesn't call for chanterelle mushrooms, but seeing as that's what we have, I figured I might as well give it a shot, and I'm sure it's gonna be delicious. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I mentioned, I went out and I foraged for some fresh chanterelles in the forest last week, and this is them. If you guys have never seen chanterelle mushrooms before, never heard of them, these guys are absolutely delicious, and they can be found locally here in the Pacific Northwest, and I'm really excited to make a recipe with them. I already cleaned them off as best as I could at home. I took a little brush and I kind of just went around and I scraped off as much dirt and debris as I could. Since these are fresh foraged from the ground, they're covered in pine needles and all kinds of forest goodies. So you got to get in there and clean them up before you cook them. So let's go ahead and start getting these prepared. I'm gonna just kind of start by tearing these guys up. One of my favorite things about chanterelle mushrooms is the consistency of them. So when you rip them up, they have this very like almost meaty texture, kind of like a, I don't know, like a carnitas, I guess. Those are looking good. Next, we'll go ahead and chop up an onion. Alrighty, and the beef that I'll be using for the stroganoff is this top sirloin. Alright, beef is ready. You know, times like this, I really do wish I had a sink in here, because it would be a lot easier to just like quickly wash off my hands if I had a sink. But instead, got to go outside and wash them. Raw meat, you know you got to wash your hands midway. Ahead and plop that in there. mushrooms and the onions. Hit it with some salt. All right, in goes the garlic. Next, we got a cup of beef broth. And 3/4 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. This is also deglazing the bottom of the pan, so all of those charred, brown, crispy bits that kind of stuck to the bottom, I'm gonna go ahead and try to scrape all of that off, because that's gonna add tremendous depth of flavor into the broth. Now, typically at this point, I would also add some all-purpose flour, and I could have sworn that I had some in the cabin. So when I was at the store getting groceries for this recipe, I didn't get flour because I thought, oh yeah, I have flour in the cabin already. But as it turns out, I don't have flour in the cabin. That's kind of a bummer because that ingredient really helps to thicken things up. And without it, it's gonna be a little bit runny, but we're just gonna have to make do with what we've got. Now what I'm gonna do is take a 1/4 cup of this sour cream. And I'm gonna set it down here. I'm gonna add a little bit of the sauce to that so it doesn't curdle. Now I'll go ahead and add that sour cream into the sauce here. All right, to that, I'm gonna add some Dijon mustard, about a 1/2 tablespoon. Now we're gonna add some salt, fresh cracked pepper. Give that a stir. Almost forgot, gonna add about a tablespoon of Worcestershire. And finally, we're gonna add all that beef back in there. All but one piece. Now, ideally, I would have been cooking the pasta simultaneously, but there really just wasn't enough space here, and also I had a lot of other stuff going on, so here we are, making the pasta after the fact. This is the pasta that I'll be using, classic egg pasta. In case you were wondering why I saved a singular piece of the beef. I think she liked it. Was that good? She was in a deep slumber. She didn't even know what was going on at first. Wake up, chow. Look at that snout. Is that the most boopable snout or what? Boop. Let's give it a shot. Here's some of that chanterelle onion mix. Oh, my goodness. Those chanterelles are divine. Even through all the flavors of everything else going on, you still get the taste of the chanterelles. Check it out, guys. Right now there's about a 30-degree difference from outside and in the cabin. And I stopped running the heater a long time ago. This is just from all of the cooking. 69 degrees inside, 40 degrees outside. Quite the drastic difference. Are you happy to be inside where it's warm? That was so good. The chanterelles just have like the most perfect texture that complements the dish. They're like the perfect amount of chewy and meaty, but also a little bit of rubbery, and they just absorbed a lot of that butter flavor beautifully. Great dish. Amazing. I would highly recommend it. I couldn't even finish the serving that I dished out for myself because it was a lot of food and I'm stuffed. You know what's kind of funny? I always wonder if Kaya just thinks that I'm crazy. Like, she just thinks that I'm a psycho because I'm always talking to the camera, but to her it probably just seems like I'm talking to myself. Does she just look at me and think, this guy's freaking crazy? My dad is literally crazy. He's just always talking to himself. I don't know what's going on with him, but as long as he keeps food in my bowl and keeps the balls flying for fetch, I'm not gonna question it. I bet you that's exactly what she thinks.
It's in the desert where lots of the town's problems are solved.
A lot of holes in the desert, and a lot of problems are buried in those holes.
This is the end result of all the bright lights and the comp trips, of all the champagne and free hotel suites.
It's getting pretty chilly outside right now. Anyways, I'm gonna hit the hay now. See you guys in the morning. Good night. Good morning, folks. It's chilly right now. I think the thermometer said 30 when I was leaving the cabin. A brisk fall morning. But I'll tell you what, it is. It's beautiful out here right now. This was actually the first time that I've ever slept with the diesel heater running all night, and it was nice. It was honestly a little bit too warm at one point. I kind of woke up and half of the blanket was off of me. So note to self, I'm gonna have to turn it a little bit lower next time. Woo! You guys like my little decoration here? Mother Nature helped me out with that one. As I was driving through the forest, I caught this little branch and it's stayed on ever since. Kind of like it. I think I might leave it there. Guys, whenever possible, always remember, if you're gonna be dispersed camping, first of all, pick up all your trash. Second of all, inevitably, there's gonna be trash at camp spots. If possible, try to leave it better than it was when you got there, you know? That way, we're keeping these places nice and clean and ready to be enjoyed by all, and we're preserving them, and We're just respecting the earth. Look at this. Who comes up here and leaves a section of a carpet? I swear, people will litter the most random stuff ever. Like, what is this? Why bring this here and then leave it? I'll be packing that one out with me. Oh yeah, this old girl, she's gonna need some glow plugs before the winter comes, because we're gonna be doing some camping in a lot colder weather than this, and that was kind of a long start. Oh, anyways, that's gonna do it, guys. Thanks for joining along. I appreciate all of your support, and I look forward to seeing you very soon in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.